What's going on, guys? Caleb here, Caleb's Property Maintenance. Thank you for coming back for yet another episode. So in this episode, guys, I want to take a minute and talk to you about this Echo string trimmer, and as well as an attachment that I use with it. So let's get right into it. So right here in front of me we have the Echo 2620T. I purchased this just about a year ago. My dealer was having a spring sale, and I think 15 or 20% off if I'm not mistaken. So this trimmer was basically Echo's brand new release, I'm pretty sure, with the Pro Extreme series. And I honestly, guys, am really impressed with this trimmer. In fact, if I would have known about it sooner, I probably would have not even bought my steel trimmers. That is how much I love this trimmer. Yes, I will say it does not have the power of the steel, like especially the steel FS100RX that I own. It does not have that kind of power, but let's face it, guys, we don't need that kind of power in everyday trimming of regular grass. The 100 comes in handy every so often when I have to do a major like sort of brush mow down or something like that, but other than that, I really don't need it. And what I think, it has so much torque that the bearings right inside here, right off the power head, have worn out once, and they're starting on the way to wear out again. And I've owned the trimmer for 4 or 5 years. So I don't know, is the power an issue? I'm not sure, but it's definitely overkill for what I'm using it for. It does, like I said, come in handy every so often when I'm doing a heavier job that requires that amount of power. But for the most part, I really don't need it. And some of the features that I like about this Echo trimmer, I like that it is the two-stroke engine instead of like the steel has the 4-mix engine, so there's valves that need adjustment. I have only had to do that once, and I pushed that work to the dealer just because I didn't want to mess with anything that particular. I don't want to mess up a piece of equipment that I have. So anything that's too complicated, I will get the dealer to do so. Because what was ending up happening was I would pull it to start it, and the timing was off, so that way the piston wasn't doing the right operation at the right time as when I was pulling the starter ropes. So once it gets out of timing, you have to do a valve adjustment, and so I just subbed that out to the dealer. So other than that, I've really had no issues with that compared to this. So back to the Echo, I really like how they designed the air filter cover here to it's very simple to take on and off. You just undo this screw here on the top, and then there's the same thing on the bottom, and that whole cover comes off, and you can easily change the air filter. Another feature that I really like about the Echo is this hand grip, as well as the loop handle. It has just such a nice rubbery sort of coating on it that makes it just feel so comfortable in your hands. I mean, really comfortable. And just the way they have the trigger and all, I mean, just the way they have the trigger and all set up, it really makes it very comfortable to use. So I can't complain about that. And guys, you may be wondering why I do not have the guard on the end of the trimmer. I know you would think a particular guy like me, if you haven't caught on, by the way, I am very particular in maintaining my equipment, as well as just how we do the work. When a job is finished, it's got to be pretty perfect for me to give it a pass. So, and I don't want to say this pridefully, but we have had very few complaints from customers, just because our work is, we're just that particular. I think the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. My mom is the same way, so her and us working together, we really get along quite well. Obviously, with any human relationship, you're going to have little bumps and hiccups, but for the most part, I can't complain whatsoever. So anyway, why we don't have the guard on here, I have found this very wonderful attachment here called the Edge It Pro. I'm sure some of you guys have heard about it and some of you maybe have not heard about it. This thing is a game changer for edging along the sidewalk with a trimmer. So basically how this attachment works is you bolt it on the head using the same bolts that are on there for attaching the guard. So it's really easy. Just you have to take the speed feed head off in order to get to those bolts. But once you do that, those 3 bolts just come right off, and then you bolt this right on. This part stays stationary, and then this part rolls along. So you just roll it along the edge of the sidewalk. I did not get much footage of me using the Edge It Pro, just because I don't know if I want to take the risk with the camera and flinging rocks. That could be along in the edge. So I'll try this year, hopefully, to get some more footage. But I really am super happy with the Edge It Pro, and I can definitely foresee myself buying some more Edge It Pros once this one wears out. So I would highly recommend it, guys. Another thing, sorry, this isn't really scripted, so this is sort of just off the top of my head, as you guys can tell. Back to the Echo 2620T, the larger gas tank is another good seller for me. The steel gas tanks, yes, they're good on fuel consumption, but just having a larger tank where I can do 3 to 4 properties versus 2 to 3 on a tank full, that is really handy. If you've seen some of my videos, I have like sort of clusters of yards that are together where I'll do like 3 or 4 without even moving the truck. And so that's really the ideal. That's a whole other topic about route density and whatnot. But it's really nice to have a trimmer with a larger fuel tank. That way I don't even have to stop in the middle of those 3 or 4 yards. I can just easily trim all 3 or 4. You've probably seen some of the vlogs. What I like to do is I like to mow and then trim, so I can see the height of where I need to cut the grass. In theory, I've been doing this upcoming season will be my 8th season, I think. In theory, I should be able to, especially on the yards that I've done for 5-6 years, I should be able to trim them before mowing, just to get it over with, because who likes to trim? But in fact, here's another little thing. I actually love to trim just about as much as I like to mow. Mowing is a little bit more enjoyable, but trimming is right up there, man. When I started out, I hated to trim. It was the worst. And let me give you guys a little a side story, and then I'll be sharing a little tidbit of information here at the end. So make sure you keep watching the video. Don't lose me yet. You're gonna want to stay through the end. So just make sure you're watching to the end. The first lawn that I actually was hired to do was where my dad worked. It was great because I would go there and spend the day with my dad. I would mow 10, 11 o'clock after the dew was off the yard. I would do that, and then they had a curved shaft trimmer. Definitely not going to be a straight shaft, but they had that, and I tell you, I hated to trim. It was like the absolute worst. I could not stand it. And there was a fence, around most of the property, so that didn't help out the situation. But still, I hated it. And in fact, I remember one specific time I was there, I got out a pair of scissors because I hated the trimmer so bad. And it had nothing to do with the trimmer itself, it was just I hated doing it. And so how that has changed over the years. But yeah, I love to trim, and I think that's where my work, as far as mowing lawns, I think that's where my work actually stands out the most. I know this year we're going to be having sharp blades, and that's a whole nother video I got to get into. We're going to be having sharp blades all the time. But so yeah, overall guys, I love this Echo trimmer. If Echo would have come out with the Pro Extreme series sooner, around the time I was buying the Steel, I possibly would have gone with it. It would have all depended on if I would have known about the Edge It Pro. Because that's only the real reason why I bought the Echo, was because I needed a trimmer that could handle the Edge It Pro. I lucked out in such a way that all the Steel trimmers I have are not compatible with the Edge It Pro. They're the only Steel trimmers that are not compatible with the Edge It Pro. I cannot believe I got them. But anyway, so yes, overall I'm very happy with the Echo 2620T, and we'll see how it holds up another season. What I think is going to happen is you guys, if you watched my How to Trim with Excellence video, I'll throw a card up for that. If you guys watch that video, you see I'm using a Red Max trimmer. That trimmer was made in 2003 if I'm not mistaken, and I bought it from a customer of mine. So that trimmer is going to hopefully be my daily driver. It needed a new gear head, and that's actually getting done right now. So provided that all works out, I mean the engine obviously has a few hours on it because it was a homeowner who was using it. So if that works out, I'm having them put the speed feed head on that as well while it's in the shop. So if that all works out, the Red Max trimmer will be for trimming, and then this will have the Edge It Pro on it, and this will be for the edging. If I could do the reverse, I probably would, and have the Red Max for edging and this for trimming. But because I mean, I cannot express enough how much I really like this trimmer. I mean, I really do like this trimmer. So I would highly recommend it. I know they came out with the one that's a little bit more powerful, the like 3020T or whatever it is. I'm sure it's probably about the same, other than a little bit more powerful. And I'm sure I would recommend that as well. But it's kind of funny because my dealer, the guy who I work with at TW Reese, shout out to them in Southampton, PA. If you're in the area, up in Southampton, it's right near. It's right near the intersection of 2nd Street Pike and Street Road, if you're in the area. The guy that I work with, he actually preferred Echo even before they came out with the Pro Extreme series. And I don't know if me buying a lesser trimmer before they came out with this, if that would have put a bad taste in my mouth. But anyway, everything always just works out in the end, so what can I say? So I really love this. And that being said, guys, we are approaching 500 subscribers, and I want to thank you guys so much for watching and supporting me and Caleb's Property Maintenance channel. I really appreciate that. So what I'd like to do for you guys is I want to give away an Edge It Pro once we hit 500 subscribers. So make sure if you're checking this out and you're not subscribed, you hit that subscribe button, because I'm going to have a lot more equipment reviews and spotlight some of the equipment that I have that maybe you guys have seen or haven't seen that I own, and some of the pieces that I think have some really neat features like this Echo trimmer. So the Edge It company has no idea that I'm going to be giving one away, so this is going to be sponsored by me personally, guys, and so I'm just going to have to figure out the back end of how we're actually going to give it away, but it is going to be the 500 subscriber giveaway, so make sure you subscribe for that. And I'm gonna have to get into contact with some people that have done giveaways so I can make sure I know what I'm doing on the back end. See guys, I do not claim to know everything. Right there's a perfect example. I am learning along with you guys. So, alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up and comment down below. Number 1, if you have an echo trimmer, and number 2, if you think that the Edge Pro would be something that would benefit your business. I know it's really benefited mine, and so I want to give back to you guys and help you guys out in any way that I can. So it's going to be sponsored totally by me, and we're going to be giving away an Edge Pro. So once we hit 500 subscribers. So that's it for me guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode, and we'll be talking about another piece of equipment, or who knows. So make sure you subscribe. You never know what's coming down the lane. So, alright guys, well thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day, and Happy New Year, and we'll talk to you guys soon.